instead of bringing her inside, Uriel was left in the car. An arrest affidavit shows Tracey went into her home, talked to her dog, and practiced the piano for a long time. After a while, Tracey later remembered.
"65-year-old Tracey Nix of Wauchula, Florida. She is a former principal, school teacher, Sunday school teacher, as well as a mother and grandmother. Tracey is being charged with aggravated manslaughter in the death of her 7-month-old granddaughter, Uriel Shaw.
I was believing that I was leaving my children, or at any point, with a master's degree holding, well-educated, well-respected Sunday school teaching, choir singing, social person.
Comes less than a year after her 16-month-old grandson also tragically died while he, too, was under her care.
Drew and Kayla's 16-month-old son, Ezra, died. The Hardy County Sheriff's Office said their son opened doors, went under a fence, and wandered into a pond outside his grandparents' home after his grandmother, Tracey Nix, fell asleep.
In November of 2022, Tracey Nix allegedly left the baby in her SUV with all of the windows rolled up while she was inside her home playing piano. Miss Nix told investigators that she just forgot. It wasn't like she was rushing inside the house to do anything. She says she simply just forgot. Saying this when she was speaking about the baby that was left in the car after she returned from having dinner earlier that day with some friends, leaving the restaurant to return home at 1:40 p.m. Security cameras do show Tracey putting the baby in the rear seat of her SUV and driving away from the restaurant. Her drive home from the restaurant was approximately 10 minutes. Tracey went on to say, what made her remember that the baby was in the car was when her oldest grandson that was expected at her house at around 4:30 to go out to dinner with her and her husband.
You know that there's going to be things that you can't shield them from, but you could never imagine what those things would be.
Tracey said she had walked outside with 2 glasses of tea. She then drove the SUV to the backyard of the home where her and her husband sat and talked for about 10 minutes, waiting on their grandson to arrive. Now, the affidavit states that Tracey said when the grandson arrived, that was when it crossed her mind. On this afternoon in her area, the temperatures outside had reached as high as 90 degrees. Tracey's husband rushed to the vehicle and removed the baby from the car seat in the back of the SUV. He called 911 and he attempted CPR, but to no avail. The baby could not be revived and she was pronounced dead at the scene. Her autopsy showed no signs of injuries, but her death was ruled a homicide.
I believed that surely I must be making this other thing with Ezra too much.
Tracey Nix's attorney, William Fletcher, made a public statement to a local news channel saying, quote, just because somebody dies does not mean somebody has to pay. This is obviously a terrible accident, but the question is it culpable negligence?
She was devastated by this. She loved her grandkids as well as her children very, very much. She's a good person. Everybody's just seeing this one narrative. She's responsible, she's responsible. And I'm here to say, as much as I ethically can, that's just not true.
Kayla Shaw, Uriel's mother, was 6 months pregnant with Uriel when her son, 16-month-old Ezra, also died tragically while in her mother, their grandmother's care, only days before Christmas in 2021.
Kayla was pregnant at the time with their daughter Uriel. Wanting to remain a family, Kayla decided to give her mom another chance.
We looked around and said, what are we going to do? Are we choosing what we can never retrieve, or can we salvage what we have?
Tracey was never charged in the connection of Ezra's death. The state's attorney's office cited that there was insufficient evidence to establish culpable negligence in Ezra's death. Kayla, she says that she had asked her mother to babysit the baby while she went to have her hair done, and she did know that her mother was going to be taking the baby to meet up with some of her friends and have lunch. And then hours later, after Kayla was back at her own home, a sheriff's deputy came to her front door to deliver to her the shocking and traumatic news of her daughter's death. Kayla went on to say that to begin with, she did not trust her mother to watch her children after her mother had fell asleep and her son had drowned in the backyard pond. Yes, she said through tears, I was anxious leaving Ariel with her. But I love my mother and I need my mother. She went on to say, to think of the last moments of her life as a mother is gut-wrenching. There wasn't a moment to get a grip of the death of my son before there was the life of my daughter. Droshock spoke through tears with reporters saying, how do you just forget a little girl? That is 2 children who is no longer here, and somebody has to answer for this.
The couple never imagined harm would come under the care of the children's grandmother.
We trusted them to watch our son because, you know, I respect her family. A little girl. How do you forget a little girl?
After identifying his daughter at the hospital, Drew remembers,
we're out in the parking lot just trying to grasp out what just happened, and that it actually just happened twice.
The pain for Drew and Kayla remains, as their hearts will never fully heal.
I can't forgive it. Absolutely not. As a father, I can't. I don't even know if I can do it as a Christian.
Kayla is asking for prison time for her mother, as 2 of her children died tragically while under their grandmother's care. Kayla goes on to say she needs to go to prison. As her daughter, it kills me to say that, but as their mother, I demand it. Authorities say that Tracey's negligence resulted in the deaths of both of these children. A pretrial is set for May the 2nd.
Her attorney, William Fletcher, has filed a motion to have her treated at a licensed mental health facility.
I'm really not sure how to even wrap my mind around this case. This is absolutely tragic and incomprehensible. Like less than a year ago, this mother lost one of her children to drowning in the backyard pond because mom went to sleep. And now this, like I don't know these people, and I haven't really heard a lot of Tracey Nix's mental capacity. She is 65 years old. Less than a year ago, this happened with 16-month-old Ezra. I'm curious to know if Miss Nix was suffering from any sort of dementia. If family knew she was forgetful, absent-minded, if that is the case, then it's very unfortunate that these children's mother, Kayla, was given it the benefit of the doubt and decided, you know, this is my mom. I love my mom. She raised me, and it was just an accident with Ezra. And then for this to happen, I can't even wrap my mind around it. I don't even know what to say about this until I know more about it. Completely horrific. And if it does come out that this lady doesn't have any sort of dementia, absent-minded, then she is the evilest of the evil to have these children in her care and allowed this to happen not once but twice. However, if she does have dementia and she has been having issues with remembering that, then no child should have ever been left with her. I just don't know even what to say about this, except rest in peace, little one. I'm so sorry this had to happen to you both. Thoughts and prayers go out to the whole family and everyone involved. The family has established a GoFundMe page to help with the funeral expenses as well as therapy cost. I will link that down below. Thank you all so much for listening, and until next time, this is UnJustified.